Good morning. I'm Ray. Welcome back. It's Monday. We are jumping right in. We're gonna get rolling right away. So go ahead and set up some music for yourself. Put on your favorite workout playlist. Get your mat all set up. That's all we'll need today is the mat. Probably a water bottle, small hand towel if you've got it. Marisa, Peter, how are you guys? Thanks for showing up. I'm hoping today works better than Friday. Hi, Laura. Nice. All right, we got a good crowd already. Cool. Well, welcome back. Welcome to a new week. Let's start out on the towel. Let's start out on all fours. We're gonna start out by just getting the mid-back moving a little bit, getting the neck sort of loosened up. So starting here on hands and knees, let's drop chest toward the floor, shoulder blades squeeze together, and then press body weight from the floor. Shoulder blades move apart. Just getting mobility and some warmth around the shoulder blades first. And as you push the floor away, what we want is to feel a little bit of that work coming from below the armpits as your shoulder blades move around your rib cage. As they move forward, driving the floor away so that the shoulders can actively work to control your movement. Now let's drop chest, stomach toward the floor. We're going to arch the back here, and then we're going to round the back. So take a nice big deep breath in. And then as you round that back, exhale, breathe all that air out. And then from there, we're just gonna get those shoulders rolled down and back. Small circles, rolling shoulders back. And then we're gonna roll those shoulders forward. Just switching directions. And then we're gonna trace some small circles, well maybe bigger circles I should say. Trace some circles with your head here. If you're going all the way around a full circle, bring your chin up toward the ceiling as your head comes back. So as your chin comes down toward your chest, long back of the neck. As your chin comes up toward the ceiling, long front of the neck. Good, okay. Next, let's come on up to standing. And from standing, we're just gonna sit down into the nice low squat here. And then using your legs only, we're gonna come all the way up to standing tall. And we're just gonna go through a few of those, squatting all the way down low, coming back all the way up tall, keeping a flat back, even at the bottom of the squat. So we're not slouching into it, we're keeping up good form here. We're just sitting down as low as we can. Nice. And then we're going to go through a walk out push up here. So you're going to bring your hands to the floor, walk those hands forward, and this is where we'll go for a push up. And then walk your hands back in. So hamstrings are going to feel some stretch as we walk those hands out. Let's go for 2 push-ups. And then again, we push ourselves into more of a hamstring stretch as we walk back up out of that stand-up tall. This time we're going for 3 push-ups. Walk those hands back in. Next, you guessed it. How many push-ups? 4 push-ups. Walk those hands back in. We got 1 more round. Going for 5 push-ups. One more time, walk those hands back in, stand up tall. And that's it, we're warmed up. So, we are going to welcome everybody. Peggy, Patty, Mark, good to have you. All right, crew. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go through 4 circuits, 2 rounds each. We're gonna work on minimizing rest between circuits today. So I'll try my best to just keep us rolling. First circuit is gonna be an overhead squat. So taking hands up toward the ceiling or hands behind the head, we're gonna go through squats here. Reaching those hands overhead will be harder, and the goal is to keep those hands as high overhead as possible, trying to not let them drift forward. We'll go 30 seconds on squats. From there, with those hands behind the head, we're gonna do a standing mountain climber. So we're drawing opposite elbow to opposite knee. It's gonna be challenging for balance. And then from there, we're gonna do hops over the mat, or you can just simply do a quick step over the mat. So, let's get started on squats. Like I said, either hands behind the head or hands overhead. Ready, set, go. If your hands are behind your head, remember to keep your grip pretty light. Do your best to not pull the head forward. For 10 more seconds. And time. Okay. Next is going to be that standing mountain climber. Ready, set, go. So using the core to draw the knee up. We're not getting sloppy, we're just moving quick. Five seconds left. And time. So, next we're either stepping or hopping over the mat. Ready, set, go. I've got this rug. It doesn't have anything to keep it in place. So every time I step over, the whole rug does a little dance here. 10 seconds. And time. Good. So not too bad. Let's just run right through that whole circuit all over again. Ready, set, go. Woo. Maybe if you were keeping hands behind your head on the first round of squats, let's go hands overhead. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, and time. All right, we got standing mountain climbers next here. I feel like I'm still getting warmed up. Go, meaning that still not moving very easily today. Five seconds left here. Time, okay. We've got those hops over the mat. Ready, set, go. I'm gonna go for more of a high step so that this rug doesn't slide out from under my feet. But if you wanna go more for speed or even for distance, you can do nice wide hops over your mat. If you imagine you're stepping over a fence, it's another option. Similar to what we did on Friday, I think. Almost there. And time. Okay. We'll get a slightly longer rest here. Next, we're going to go through good mornings, which have some overlap with the deadlift, but for our sake today, we're going to go hands behind the head, and we're simply going to hinge at the hips, come back up. So with the weight of your arms overhead, you'll feel a little more challenge. Loading your hamstrings and your glutes on the way down, squeezing cheeks to come back up. Next is going to be a lateral lunge. So we're just going to keep the wide stance, shift hips back in one direction, up to the center, back in the other direction. From there, we're going to go through, with feet about shoulder width apart, we're going to go through touching the floor, reaching for the sky. Floor, sky. That one we're going to move as quick as possible. So again, loading hamstrings, working the back side of the body, just moving as quick as we can. So, good mornings first. Ready, set, go. Hands behind the head, hinge at the hips, come back upright, flat back, load the hamstrings. Every rep should be a-okay for the low back because the hamstrings, glutes, really the legs are doing the lifting here. 3, 2, 1. Lateral lunge next. So with feet about shoulder width, well, wider than shoulder width. Nice wide feet. What am I saying? Here we go. Sit down low, one side at a time. For 5 more seconds. And time. Forget where I am. Okay, next one is going to be touch the ground, touch the sky. Ready, set, go. Move fast here, as quick as you can. You're going to sort of snap the hips forward as you stand. As fast as you can. Less than 10 seconds to go, move quick. Time, okay. 10 seconds and we start that whole circuit over again here. Couple of deep breaths, hands behind your head, and go. Push those hips back, drive the hips forward. working here, 5 seconds to go. Time. Okay, we've got lateral lunges next. Staying in that wide stance. 3, 2, 1, and go. We're gonna sit down into a lateral lunge, one side at a time. Get down as low as you can, but more than anything, focus on pushing your hips back to the side you're lunging into. Time. Okay. Feet probably about shoulder width apart here. Ready, set, go. Touching the floor, touching the sky. Here we go. We're moving as quick as we can on this one. This one's for speed. Push the hips back on every repetition here. Save the lower back. Load your hamstrings and your glutes here. Time. All right. Nice work. It's already 2 rounds down. Holy cow. That went pretty quick. So, on Friday I was having some technical difficulties, and there were a few exercises that I thought were a good progression. So we're gonna do them again today. First one is that prone row. So this is where your hand towel comes in handy. If all you've got is a longer towel or maybe a sweatshirt, that will work just as well. Legs are gonna stay on the floor. We're gonna hold on to the ends of that towel so you're actually gripping about shoulder width apart. Start with your hands close to you. So your forearms are on the floor, hands are on the floor, towel close to your chest. Step 1, flex the glutes, lift the arms. From there, we're gonna press the hands forward and we're gonna pull the hands back. So a lot of engagement around the shoulders and throughout the back here. And the goal is to simply reach the hands out as far as you can and then row them back in. Because we are keeping tension on that towel, as you row those arms forward and then pull them back in, think of rowing those hands back in. It's almost like a lat pull down or a pull up. So you're creating tension out against the towel, and you're creating tension to pull those shoulder blades down and back. From there, we're gonna stay on our bellies. We're gonna keep hands on the floor. You can cross your arms under your chin. And this is where we're gonna lift the legs. So this is a hip extension. We're flexing glutes to lift the entire leg, including the thighs, off the mat. From there, we're gonna turn over. We've done this one a few times, but the purpose today in this tabletop here is to drive the hips up. We're gonna drive the hips up and we're gonna lift a foot. Up, lift a foot. So lift one foot once you've driven hips up toward the sky. So we wanna create the tabletop first and then march 1 foot at a time off the floor. If you're just getting acquainted with the hip lift, you can just focus on that. Okay, so laying on your stomach here, grab that towel, hold onto that towel, shoulder width apart, ready, set, go. Lift the arms, lift the chest, rowing those hands out in front. Keep a long neck here, so look down toward the floor, keeping your chin gently tucked toward your chest. Time. Okay, set the towel down. Arms stay on the floor now. And we're extending the hips. Here we go. Ready, set, go. Lift those legs off the floor. Make those glutes work. Ten seconds to go here. Time. Okay. Quickly, go ahead and turn over to a seated position. Arms on the floor. It works best for me to have my fingers point back behind. And then we're lifting those hips. Here we go. If you want to start with just driving the hips up toward the sky, it's a good starting point. We're moving quick, but we're not getting sloppy. Then you can work on adding in one-legged march at the top. And time. Okay, come right back down to that row. We're going right back into that same series again here. Ready, set, go. Hold onto that towel. Long neck. Keep the chest off the floor. As you pull the towel back to you, squeeze those shoulder blades down and back toward your butt, toward your back pockets. 10 more seconds here. 3, 2, 1. Set the towel down. Now those hands are going to stay on the floor, arms on the floor. We're going to do the hip extension here. Ready, set, go. So we're bracing the core against the floor, flexing glutes to help lift those legs, keeping lower back relatively quiet throughout this movement. You will feel muscles engage in the lower back, and that is okay. But because we're pressing the hips down into the floor, because glutes are tight, this shouldn't be painful. Time. Turn over. Seated position again. Hands on the floor behind you. Ready, set, go. Hips up. Marching one foot at a time. If you want to spice it up, march both feet at the top of that position. Keep it going. And time. Good. All right. Let's take a little break here. 3 rounds down. 3 circuits down. Grab a sip of water. I'm going to walk you through the 4th and final circuit here, which will consist of a narrow grip push-up today. So hands are going to be about shoulder width, and we're going to work on taking those elbows from out away from your sides. We're going to sort of rotate them in close to the body. So if your hands are directly below your shoulders when you start, here's sort of a side profile. If hands are at shoulder width as you start, you're going to rock your body slightly forward so that shoulders move just past the hands as you lower into that push-up. Reason being, if you look at where your hands are when you start this movement versus where your hands are relative to the shoulder at the bottom of the movement, you have to rock your body forward as you lower into the push-up. That might make a little more sense once I demonstrate it, but something to think about today as you're going through these push-ups is how your body moves in relation to where your hands are on the floor. So in the starting position, hands are directly below my shoulders. Now, as I lower into the push-up, I move my body slightly forward. So that means that I almost sort of point my toes as my shoulders take that little trip forward as I lower down. So narrow grip push-up. After 30 seconds, I want you to do your best to just hold this push-up position at the top. So we've got a 10-second break in between. That's where we start holding that plank. It's a push-up position plank here. And then from there, we're going to do one of two things. One option is to take the 10-second break after the plank and then come right back into a push-up position, and we're going to hop the feet out, hop the feet in. Hop them out, hop them in. If at that point your shoulders are pretty toasted from all that planking, then you're going to stand and you're going to hop feet out and in, or you're going to go for a jumping jack. That's up to you. I'll call that out when we get there. So, starting on the narrow grip push-up, ready, set, go. As we lower, we're rolling through the toes to shift our bodies forward slightly. Ten seconds left. One more. Good. Now, if you can, hold this position. Hold the plank position here. Little bonus plank time. Flat back, pushing the floor away. Here we go, 30 seconds. $15 seconds left. Core is braced tight here, glutes are tight. Pushing the floor away. 5 seconds left, hold it. Stay up, and 10-second break here. Now you're either going to go into a jumping jack, or we're back in that push-up position, ready, set, go. Hopping feet out and in. Keep it going. 15 seconds left here. Three, 2, 1, and 10-second break. It's not a lot of time. And then we go right back into those push-ups. All right, here we go. Narrow grip push-ups. Ready, set, go. Ten seconds left. These can always be done on the knees. 5 seconds left. Okay, if you can hold that, you can hold that plank position, you're holding it. Otherwise, we're starting in 3, 2, 1, push-up plank. We're pushing the floor away. Actively bracing the core. We're breathing for 15 seconds here. If you look down at the insides of your elbows, point the insides of the elbows forward. 3, 2, 1, and rest. It's just 10 seconds here. And then we're right back up, either the jumping jacks or the out-in plank. Go! So you can hop those feet out and in. Do your best to keep your hips from sagging here. Or you're doing a standing jumping jack. 15 seconds left. Keep going. 10 seconds. 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1, and done. That was cruel. Whose idea was that? All right. Good work. Yeah, if you're feeling like me, or apparently if you're feeling like Marisa, that was a little not fun. Well, good work today. Those were awesome. The main bulk of the workout's done. Catch your breath here, have a sip of water, and then we're gonna go through 3 short rounds of ab work, and then we'll cool down. I didn't even realize it at the start of the workout, but today's June 1st. Happy June. We're about 3 weeks away from longest day of the year, which I love. I like the longer days. I like when it's light later in the evening. It's more time to be outside. Okay, coming down to lie on your back here. We're gonna run through 3 rounds of abs. What I wanna work on today is starting with the legs up in that tabletop position. You can either bring the back side of your fingers to your forehead and then lift forehead and hands, or if you're comfortable with holding your hands behind your head, you can do that as long as you can keep the neck relaxed, meaning that your head is sort of cradled in your hands and not that we're wrenching the head forward. So, up to you. I like to place back of the hands on the forehead. It's a nice reminder to keep your upper body off the floor without wrenching your head forward. We're going to go 45 seconds here of keeping that crunch position and then extending the legs, pulling them back in. As an alternative here, you can do the dead bug, which would be hands toward the ceiling, head on the floor, flat back, glued to the floor, and then opposite arm and leg will extend. This is always a really, really good alternative. So, 3 rounds, 45 seconds. We'll take 30 seconds in between. Ready, set, go. Regardless of which option you've chosen, as your legs extend toward the floor, make sure that you only go as far as possible while keeping the lower back glued to the floor. If you need to modify and keep those legs a little higher, that's fine, because it's important to be able to control the spine. 5 seconds left. And rest. Ouch. Let's take 30 seconds off here. Give your core a chance to recover. That's still not a whole lot of break time, so make the most of it. Know that you are strong enough to do 2 more rounds of this. Starting up in 5. Ready, set, go. If you feel your core getting tired, maybe just switch to 1 leg at a time. It's a nice modification. No matter what though, keep working. We're not resting yet. 15 seconds left here. 5, 4, 3, 2, rest. 30 seconds off. We'll start back up in about 20 seconds here. If you've been doing the harder option and you need to go to the dead bug exercise, that is 100% acceptable. Because more than anything, we want to feel the abs work. We don't want to just suffer our way through an exercise we're not quite able to do. All right, here we go. Last round. All right, 30 seconds down. Let's go for another 15. Five more seconds. You can do this. And time. Good work. All right. Nice job today. So that's going to wrap up the work. Now we can cool down, and because I'm already here, we might as well start with the butterfly stretch. So after doing all that ab work, if you feel like your hip flexors, maybe your adductors are a little fatigued, they try to help out, this is a good place to start. If you can bring the soles of your feet together and then drive those knees down toward the floor, this is going to give you a nice stretch through the inside of the thighs, through the front of the hips. If you're not quite able to drop the knees toward the floor, just do your best to press those down using your elbows. From here, let's extend one leg, and then we're just going to walk those fingertips forward, straight forward, going for a hamstring stretch, one leg at a time here. From there, let's stay in the stretch, but let's just shift the angle. So now you're going to walk your fingertips out toward the extended foot, extended leg. Maybe one arm on either side of that leg. And then go ahead and switch feet. Starting by taking your hands straight forward in front of you. Spend a little time in this stretch. Couple more deep breaths here. And then we'll walk those hands over so they're on either side of the extended leg. Keep breathing into a deeper stretch here. Good, and then from there, let's go into a seated piriformis stretch. So we're gonna set one ankle on top of the other knee. You can either lean back on your hands here, or if you find that it's more effective to just roll onto your back, then you're going to feed one arm through between your legs, other hand comes around to the outside of the knee, and you're going to pull the bent knee in closer to the chest. Hang out here, spend a little time working to relax into that stretch. And taking deep breaths will help you get there. then from there, we're simply going to switch legs. If you can relax your head down to the floor while lying on your back, that is ideal. If you're seated, make any adjustments that you need to feel a deeper stretch. So that might mean sliding your bent knee, the foot that's planted on the floor, slide that foot in closer to your butt to get more of a stretch. Good, and then go ahead and unwind yourself from that stretch. Set yourself up for a hip flexor stretch here. Keeping the core braced and then pressing hips forward into that stretch. If you're able to, you can add a little spice here by reaching back for the back foot, pulling that back foot up toward your butt. So now we're getting both hip flexors and quads all in one stretch. And then let's switch legs here. Starting with hip flexors. If you can, lifting the back foot to add in that, add in that little bit of extra stretch. Okay, we're going to relax out of that stretch. Next, what we're going to do is we're going to go into downward facing dog. So we're going to go from a push-up position, and then we're going to lift hips toward the sky here to get both hamstrings and calves some stretch time. So if you imagine that you're being lifted by your belt, we want to let the shoulders go through some stretch here. If it's helpful to work one leg at a time, you can sort of pedal your feet here. Press one heel at a time toward the floor. Keep alternating. And then from there, lower your knees to the floor. We're going to go through, it's basically from a child's pose, we're going to do some lat and shoulder stretching. So if you take the pinky side of your hands and bring them together, pinky side of the hands together, elbows on the floor. As you lower your torso toward the floor, you're going to feel a good stretch through the lats. So you can let forehead rest on the floor. And then work on sinking your butt back toward your heels. From there, bring your hands back toward your shoulder blades. Go ahead and relax the arms, straighten the elbows, and then you can come on out of that stretch. High five, everybody. Good work today. You made it. Thanks for showing up. We're back at it again on Friday and the following Monday. And then you can always do workouts on your own by going back and checking out the videos. So have a wonderful week. Happy June. I'll see you Friday. Bye.